All right, so we're back at King of Comedy. That's Robert De Niro in sunglasses, 1982. He's about 36, 37 years old, around that age. This is mimicking Bob Dylan's Subterranean Blues. This little segment right here. I'm gonna put it on pause. And they've kidnapped Jerry Langford, Sarah Bernhardt. And he's calling the office right there. So Sarah Bernhardt kidnapped him with
She plays Masha.
Rupert Pumpkin. And well, Sarah Bernhardt's the actress that has the gun right there. And they hold him hostage to call the office and to strike a deal with the head executives of the show, the Jerry Langford show, so that Rupert Pumpkin could go on live television. Or it wasn't really live television, but it was, you know, like the Tonight Show. It's called the Jerry Langford Show. He makes a deal with them so he can go on the show and become famous. And it reminds me of a script I wrote called Oscillate Wildly, which is about the kidnapping of Marlon Brando by two filmmakers, loosely based on when Francis Ford Coppola snuck into Marlon Brando's house to do a screen test for The Godfather. And I wrote a script called Oscillate Wildly, which I thought about switching it over to either Stephen Patrick Morrissey or another famous star, since Brando's passed away. I was going to give it to Marlon Brando. I went to Hollywood to give it to him, asked Diane Salinger. I was looking for Marlon Brando when I was there. I was going to give him the script. It was a comedy, a little bit like King of Comedy. But Marlon Brando passed away. Passed away in 2004-ish, around that time. Maybe 2005, 2004. It was like 2004 when he died. Jerry, he died too, so he's no longer around. De Niro's still around. Anyway, check this out. It's King of Comedy. They kidnapped Jerry Langford. It was played by Jerry Lewis. And so Robert De Niro character's named Rupert Pumpkin. He wants to be famous, wants to be a famous comedian. It's a really good movie. 1982. And this is what I mean by Martin Scorsese getting Fellini. Look at all the candles. So Sarah Bernhardt's character approaches Jerry Lewis, who's Jerry Langford, and now she has him taped up, almost like in a cast of masking tape, and she's going to torment him, kind of in a kind of sensuous way. And she's got the, you know, champagne, almost like a vampirist kind of thing, and there's candles everywhere. So this is pretty creative. Very, very Fellini right here. Martin Scorsese getting Fellini. What movie did you say it was?
Dance. I just want to, like, you know.
I thought it was 16 candles.
It's not 16 Candles. That's John Hughes. It's Martin Scorsese's King of Comedy. She thought it was 16 Candles because of the candles.
What year does it date?
1982. It was 1982. 1982. That's Sarah Bernhardt and Jerry Lewis.
Oh, okay.
That's the Jerry Langford Show. That's Martin Scorsese right there. He was a man that was born in New York. Little Italy is where he grew up. He had asthma. He'd watch television all day, and his dad would take him to the movies. He loved westerns. He likes The Searchers, which is John Ford. John Ford's his favorite. He was doing storyboards as a kid. He was a born filmmaker. This is King of Comedy. That's Tony Randall, an actress friend named Sam Murphy. She met him over in England. I've met many actors. I don't know if I'll ever meet Martin Scorsese. I was kicked out of the Actors Studio Drama School, New School University, after the first year, because I poured a bucket of paint in a washing machine. So Lipton had me kicked out because I'm method. And that next year, the following year, is when they interviewed Martin Scorsese. So I missed it. But the first year I got to see everyone from Bruce Willis, Johnny Depp, Ethan Hawke, Sarah McKellen, Kevin Costner, Benicio del Toro, Sarah Jessica Parker, everyone. I got to meet all kinds of people the first year. It was 2001, 2002. He was interviewed in the 2003 year. It might have been beginning of 2002 going into 2003. I was 2001, 2002. I was cohort 8. Bradley Cooper was cohort 5. I almost got to meet Martin Scorsese. But I had to get back so I could have children. I have 3 children now. I'm sure he's doing okay. He did Killers of the Flower Moon in Oklahoma, not too far from here. How you doing, Scorsese? So Rupert Pumpkin gets to go out in front of the nation and perform his monologue. And Jerry Langford is stuck back at the, I guess, Sharon Bernhardt's dungeon kind of thing. It's kind of like an Egyptian kind of thing going on, because it looks like they have him, Jerry Langford, they have him like almost in like a coffin of masking tape. And anyway, he gets to finally perform his monologue in front of the entire nation. And this is his dream come true. This is what he dreamed, he dreamed for this moment his entire life. Now, in Oscillate Wildly, they kidnap Marlon Brando and take him to a cave. And they film him, saying all this weird stuff and everything. And eventually the goal of the guys is to get the movie, distributed, So I wrote Oscillate Wildly. I have the script. It's printed out. My friend Rob's seen a copy of it. But I don't think I ever put it in digital form. It's only on paper. And I'll see if I can go find it right now. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
All right, I'm going to go in the closet and look for a script. I'll be right back.
All right, go ahead.
All right. All right. So I keep my scripts right here. There's a lot of them. And...
Oh, you're looking for a script?
Yeah, I'm looking for a script. This one is called Oscillate Wildly. Okay, and I got to find it. Yeah, okay, jump in the shower. And this one's The Never Ending Defect. This one's The Almost Fallen Treehouse. I wrote this in Brooklyn about a week or two before 9/11. There's Pigeons. It's a play I wrote too. It's a play I was in. Margaret D. wrote it. She's a religious fanatic. This is Lost Awaits, Strangers Goodbye. This one's published and in the Library of Congress under my name, Cole Spivey. This one is The Never Ending Defect, another copy of it. The Lost Dog, these are short films. The early version of The Projectionist, which The Projectionist is a digital form, so I have that one too. Notes, calendar. This one is the first part of The Chosen One. Oh, no, it's not. This is a different one. Probably early versions of Escape from Maine or something. That might be it right there. There's a resumes. Lost and Found. This is actually a really good one. Lost and Found is a very, nevertheless, I believe, yeah. I forgot the other part of the title. This is a very otherworldly script. It's very, very good, kind of Twin Peaks. This is Pray for Willie, a play about autism in local schools. I was also a teacher for a while. Pray for Willie's a really good play. Right here. Kitty, don't get in there. This is, let's see. September Falls is a script I was working on. Under that probably is let's see, this is no, this is Civil Rights Mystery, Civil Night. Never really got in that one. This one is Trivial Objects. I gave this one to Rob. An early version, or this is an after version of Bulb. It even has page numbering and everything. And there's 22 Purple Garlane. And this is 22 Purple Garlane again, which is another script that I have. So that's one basket there of scripts. More scripts there. Kitty, don't get into it right now. There's Lost and Found. That one's Library of Congress. I published it at the Library of Congress. I paid the money for it and everything. This one has my information on it. So this little calendar. Move out of the way, kitty. This one, never ending defect. So I'm going to go through the box 2. This is Pigeons. That's a play. It's a really good play right there. Pigeons right there. Pigeons is what I wrote. Don't know why I didn't put my last name on that one. This one I did. I wrote that one in Brooklyn. I went back and typed it later. I'll Fine Oscillate Wildly. It was for Marlon Brando, but he died. He died before I could get him to do it. I wanted it to be his last one. Moosehead Fly got top 50 in Humana Festival. It was a 10-minute play. It was written by me. It got top 50 in the Humana. It was about, Subway Chronicles I wrote at UNT. I read before class. There. All right, so this is number 1. And that. And we're gonna look for number 2. All right. Here we go. Let's see if we can find it. I know I showed it to Rob and Annie, but I know I would have kept a copy. So I'll have to look to make sure there's no phone numbers and information. It's more Margaret C. stuff. She's a religious fanatic. Red Eyes is a play that I wrote. Actually, a short story. This might be it, maybe. This one's another version of 22 Purple Garlane. Another version of 22 Purple Garlane. And under it, pin. I gave this one to Carrie Bourne at a film festival in Dallas. And I was in. What is this right here? Some certificate of achievement. That one's pinned right there. This one back here. Watch out, kitty. Cat's over there. All right, there's my cat. This one's called The Mover. Here's one called The Mover and 30 Minutes on John Street. This is about 9/11, September 11th right here. That's the title of it right here. This one's probably a short story I wrote on a typewriter. You can see it's even page numbered. And cat went over that way. This one is Lost Awaits, which is another one. Oscillate Wildly is very poetic. It's almost something that had been written by Edgar Allan Poe. It's really all over the place. It's not any version to be done like a little script. It'd have to be only, you'd only have to take parts of it. So if we don't, this is Paloozed, a very good play. It's a poetic cliffhanger. It's written by me. Oh, I made up this name. Ash Ajakian. I made it up when I wrote it. So Jonathan Cole Spivey is my real name, but I made that name up when I wrote it. It's very poetic. Here's a poem I wrote called Simply Texas. Moosehead Fly, we know about that one. 4-minute window is about a burrito. My mom used to bring these burritos back to me from American Airlines.
All right, this is very strange because I did not use Ash Cole back in the time when I came back from New York and moved into my mom's house at 2618 Wheeling. This was probably 2003 when I returned back from New York. I think it was 2004, between 2003 and 2004 when I finally moved in back to 2618 Wheeling. I did write this play at my mom's house about the burrito that my mom would bring back from the gourmet burrito place over by American Airlines off of Fall and Euless. I did not use Ash Cole until I got to Irving. When I lived in Irving, Angel and I moved there, and I started my family there in 2013 to 2014. I didn't start Ash Cole until like 2016 or 2017. So if it was a reprint of this play, and I reprinted certain ones from another computer, then I may have put Ash Cole's name on it. But I don't remember ever putting Ash Cole's name, which is my pseudonym, back in 2004. I was using the pseudonym or the alias Ash Cole in 2017. That's my pen name. Basically, a pen name is the same as an alias name for a writer. It's like Sam Shepard Rogers. Sam Shepard was his pen name or his alias name. His real name was Sam Shepard Rogers. He did that kind of stuff. So I used Ash Cole as a partial pen name, just like Stephen King uses Richard Bachman, but I didn't start using it until Irving, probably around 2016 or 17, right when Angel was beginning to leave. It's probably about 2018 when I really started using Ash Cole. It's a possibility I came up with that name back in 2004, didn't even think about it. I just wanted to write that because I thought it was strange. I wanted to talk about that because I thought it was strange. So I'm kind of writing about this.
From American Airlines. This little burrito shop over there. There's a gourmet burrito shop in Euless. It was about me eating those burritos in the microwave. 40 line. John has this one in New York. He's an actor. John Johnson, whatever his name is. 40 lines long. I wrote this about LA. This is about me going from LA to New York. It's about a model. It's a script. It's bound. Love and War. I printed this. Love and War is about Afghan war. I wrote it under Ash Cole. I gave this to Eric Soderbergh. I printed a version of it. It's a script. It's actually a screenplay. Love and War. I didn't even know I had that copy. This is digging into these are some stuff that I got from Maine. Let's see. This one's probably written there. DMV Tyrants, Christopher DeRay. These are all scripts too that probably have not, and stuff from about 9/11. These are poetry of 1999. This one is The Collectors. It's a very good play. I have that one in digital. So I got that one. I switched it over to digital. This one right here, early version of Projectionist. Projectionist is digitized. This is stuff about Towards the Poor Theater, Jerry Grotowski. This is Joe Chaikin stuff. Notes about Joe Chaikin. Got it! Found it! Oscillate Wildly. I found it. Got more down here, except the Chosen One's the one I really want to do. We've got some good stuff. Really good stuff. I've been writing scripts since I was 17 years old. Really good stuff. Put these back right here. I gotta put both of these back. We found it right there. I showed a copy to Rob. I don't know if I gave a copy to him. Him and Annie came over, and I showed a copy to him. I gotta put this back up. I got 3 kids. I've been doing this stuff for a very long time. And Oscillate Wildly. I'm gonna show you guys some Oscillate Wildly. It's some really good stuff. I can't believe I found it. It's not in digital form. It's only on paper. But I found it. And this is the, we gotta be taking off here pretty soon. But I found it. And this does not need to be here. Right there, it's a cat food thing. Turn this on right here. I don't believe you have to go to New York. It's just a big mess. It's Oscillate Wildly right here. Let me get my other glasses. Woo! Man. I can't believe I found it. I was going to give this script to Marlon Brando. He was still alive when I was there in 2001. And going in right into 2001. I was there for about 9 months. Here's one of my old addresses right here. These are my old addresses. This is probably, this is a floppy. I bet Entitled is in here. It's a floppy. There's a floppy disk in here. It can be accessed. This right here is the script. I gotta make sure I get. Let's see. Whoa, looks like it's been like someone's read it. Yeah, you can see some of the curse languages. Stuff is no hold bar. It was a no hold bar script.
I was going to give it to Marlon Brando. He was going to play Marlon Brando. It was about the kidnapping of Marlon Brando. Got it. Right here. Page. Yes, it's in order too. I need to punch holes in it. Right here. Oscillate Wildly. A story about being wild, disaffirmed, and creatively fucked up. Yeah, I know. Don't come over this way then. Here's the characters. Fade in December 2001, Hollywood. Ross Knott, a 26-year-old struggling modern Generation X filmmaker. It's right there. You want to organize? You want heaven? Then go to heaven. You'll get your perfection in heaven. You want it to be organized? Let me finish speaking. You want it to be organized? You want everything perfect? Go to heaven. You'll get it perfect there. You'll get everything right there. It'll all be scripted and perfect. Go right to heaven. That's where you'll get your perfection. Go right to heaven. You'll get your perfection in heaven. That's where you'll get your perfection. You'll get your perfection in heaven. There you go, Boomer. Is that what you like to look at? Your little perfection.
There he is, little kitty. In the whale shark tunnel. He's in there, aren't you? What are you doing, kitty? Whew, there he goes.
And welcome to the Please Subscribe Show. I am the husband, Cole Spivey, and you are?
Linda Spivey,
And what
the
is
wife.
The wife, that's right. We are husband and wife, and we will be dropping food at your doorstep. Prepare ye the way. We have a lot of work to do and a big country to cover. And you're going to help us do that. Now, see the green thing right there? Look at the green thing right there. That way you can look them in the eyes. Does it look like I'm lying? All right. God bless. Jesus loves you. Join us as we drop food at your doorstep. Prepare ye the way. I found it. Prepare ye the way.
All right, 174,626 miles on the speedometer, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, April 16, 2023. And you guessed it, my beautiful wife, Linda Spivey.
Hi there.
And I am Cole Spivey. We are the married couple. We are the married couple. Prepare ye the way. We'll be dropping food at your doorstep. Welcome to the Please Subscribe Show. All right, we are here at Old South Pancake House. This is where the revolution will begin. This is where we're going to gather as friends and talk about HK7 and the door knockers. It's at the Old South 24-hour Pancake House and Family Restaurant, established in 1962. Get your HK7. Okay. Can I get your business card?
I can tell you my name.
What's your name?
Philip Duncan?
Duncan? But you don't have the business card.
No, sir.
All right. Why are you so upset?
I'm not.
Okay. Okay, well, I don't know. Got his phone number. So I don't know if there's an HR department to call Old South manager. Philip Duncan is his name. But I'll have to figure it out. All the way from Nevada. When I was younger, I went on an adventure with everybody in the zoo, with kids. I was probably elementary school. We went on a zoo trip. This girl kissed me right back there. Never would I think that I'd end up with 3 children of my own and a father of my own. What's great about that is once those kids start, they're forever, because they'll be with you in heaven. You know, that's what they say. You get to spend heaven with your whole family for all of time, because you did the right things here and you were tested right here.
so you're able to have children. And I'm a father of 3.
All the way from California.
I wanted torchy tacos, so I'm gonna pick these up. And first I'm gonna have a snack. Tacos. Jack in the Box tacos. $1.83. Right, to Torchy Tacos, it's 1.3 miles. About 7 minutes from this area. It doesn't really tell you right here, so you go through this way. Oh, there you go. I'm just gonna set it right here for safety reasons. Thank you so much. They went Old South and they were gonna do onboard paperwork, and then she just left. So they, I don't know, I guess they were gonna allow her to work, and then I don't know. So, I don't know. I thought it'd be a cool place for her to work too. But the guy, the manager there, was a big time idiot. He was really mean. His name was like Philip Dunkert or Dunkirk or something like that. Duncan. No, Philip Duncan. Yeah, Philip Duncan was his name. He was just really mean. Really bad mood. So when I worked for Direct Energy, I worked for them for about a summer, and there was one time I knocked on the door and there was this long-haired person. I couldn't tell if it was a male or female. They had a Colt 45, guns, just basically answering the door with a gun. So I ran off, or I walked back and I went to the bushes. I talked to my manager, I called the police. I believe I talked to the police, and I think I talked to him on the phone, and I told him, look, I knocked on the door, this guy answered the door with a gun, and the police told me there's nothing we can do. People have the right to own a gun. So the man that was shot in New Mexico was shot wrongfully because people have the right to own their own gun. So I didn't hear him fire a shot. So obviously it looks like the country's going to war, and I predicted this in a play. Looks like they are going to war, and if I were you and you were a police officer, I would turn in your badge and your lethal sidearm and join the right side. This is when the Empire and the Rebellion, right? Empire comes out of New York City, and this is when it's going to happen. I would suggest you do that. You don't have to even get a state job. You can do anything you want. You can start off delivering pizzas. You can start off working at Whole Foods. You can start off doing whatever you want. You're free. You don't have to be a slave to the government and have a lethal sidearm that's going to kill somebody. Listen, I have family that's police officer. My sister's ex-husband, my ex-brother-in-law, is a police officer. He's a first responder police officer. He's now a chief of police. And he doesn't have to do it either. He went to the United States Marine Corps. My friend Foster Harrington served 2 tours in the United States Marine Corps, back to back. He lost his life for a government that doesn't care about you. The government doesn't care about you, chief of police, who was my sister's ex-husband. They don't care about you. The church cares about you. And I know that you tried to go to church. You went to First Baptist, I believe, in the Crowley area. And you deserve more than what the government's doing for you and what's going on right now.
I would join the right side. I would join the right side. The government is full of drunks. They're full of drug addicts, and they're full of evil people that are killing people and laughing about it. I would join the right side before it's too late, because you're only here for a blink of an eye. And the sin that you do now, you'll have to ask for forgiveness for. And there's no way that you can carry a lethal sidearm and call yourself a Christian and go off and kill people like what happened in New Mexico the other day. I'm not telling you to turn in your sidearm. I'm not telling you to turn in your badge and step down from being an authority figure for the government. I'm asking you to see the other side. Because you don't want anybody telling you what to do whatsoever, because that's how they behave. They behave like robots. Just like the guy that killed George Floyd was behaving like a robot when he was stepping on his back, or when he was putting his knee on his back. Because I know how everything has to be perfect in your life. It's not going to be perfect. Not anymore. And if we do go to war, and listen, if we do go to war and you got this message, which you probably did, which we probably will go to war. If I were you, I would surrender now to Jesus Christ. Because Jesus Christ, when he returns wearing his white robe, he'll be bathed in blood. And it's not going to be in the blood of God's people or his children. It's going to be bathed in the blood of a government that once crucified him. Don't work for them. Turn in your badge and your lethal sidearm. Don't work for that side. If I were you, I would go for the side of peace. This right here is a pen that was given to me by my church, MacArthur Boulevard Baptist. This is how we'll stop them, not with weaponry. And it won't be from defunding. It'll be from disarming. And do you want to be a police officer? Do you want to be a police officer? Do you want to be a police officer that's going to be disarmed? Do you want to be a police officer that doesn't have a weapon? You don't want to be that. But that's where we're headed. Then you're going to be in that situation. You don't have a lot of time, but you at least have time to get on the right side. Because if a war does break out, a revolution does break out in a revolutionary country known as America, and it has before, and if it does break out and we do go to full-on war, there's going to be a good guy and there's going to be a bad guy in a war. Just like there was the blue and the gray. There was the blue side and there was the gray side. So you have to decide which side you're going to be on. Now, am I against citizens having weaponry? No. If you're a citizen, arm yourself. I suggest an HK-MP7. It's basically a submachine gun. You can put a silencer on it. It's armor-piercing bullets. So it goes right through Kevlar. That's the right side. The gun comes from Germany. It's called a Heckler & Koch MP7. You can put a silencer on it. If I were you, and if you have the right kit, you can make it automatic too. You're not supposed to. But that's what they killed David Koresh over. But if I were you and we were going to go to war, which we are going to war, if I were you, I would lay down your weapon. I would surrender now before it's too late. Because the government only has so much power. And when we see that power in action, like what happened in New Mexico, a husband was killed right before his wife and children. The children made a phone call to call for help in a government that's lost its way. And what did the other police officer say? You can hear it on the voice recording. He said, cuff her, because she picked up the gun where he left off. Just like the Russians did back in the day when they were taking Stalingrad back. They only had one weapon. So the other one would drop his weapon after he was shot, and the other one would pick it up. You know who helped the revolution when it first happened? Back whenever George Washington was fighting against tyranny? The French. We can find assistance. We can find help to fight tyranny. It'll take time. But at this moment, in the early stages, if you're a police officer, turn in your badge and turn in your sidearm and join the right side right now. You can use this. You can use a pen to try to change laws. Americans are not going to give up their weapons. We're not going to give up our weapons. We know not to. They came to that man's house to retrieve his gun. That's why they knocked on his address rather than on their right address, because they knew he had a gun and they wanted to go to war. And they did.
They started a revolution. It started in New Mexico, out of all places. I would join the right side. Now, it's not going to be easy. You won't make as much money. It's not going to be easy. But I can promise you, you're in good hands because you have a good commander-in-chief. You have to trust me. I've been through a lot. I've seen September 11th of 2001. I saw the buildings fall. George Washington did this. God helped him. There was a Paul Revere. If you're joining my army, you want an HK MP7. It's Kevlar produced. It basically, what it does is it pierces through the Kevlar. It's a German gun. And you want to have one in your household at all times. It'll go through the Kevlar. It's a very good gun. It's small, about the size of maybe a large pistol. And you can put a silencer on it too, so they can't hear you. It sounds about like this. Barely makes a sound. That's what I would do. I would join the right side. The right side is a side that is fighting against tyranny. And it's time for us to rise up. Now, I like many authors and playwrights, and I'll continue the show. But ultimately, it's a revolutionary show. It's a show that's going to guide you into the right side. And I'm going to be your commander. They're from Michigan. All the way from Michigan.